During today's EasyInput how-to video, I'll tell you how to use line activity formulas, how you can create very complex script using this technique. To start with, let's imagine we need to create a lot of cost centers, and some of them have to be different than the other, and that we do not want to put everything onto the datasheet, and we would like the script to have some logic inside. Okay, let's start with recording the cost center creation. To do this in SAP GUI, we'll start the transaction recorder, SHDB transaction. And record the cost center creation transaction KS01. I have filled the first screen of cost center, but for some cost centers, I would like to fill in also the communication part. So I'll switch this worksheet and tap and enter the telephone number. That's it. I'm saving it. I have my script. I will save the script to the desktop. Okay. I've recorded the cost center creation. I can switch to EasyInput now. I'll open a new workbook here, enter my connection data, give the script a name. Since it's a transaction script, I'll leave it unchanged. And now I go to transaction script details. I'll import the script file I saved before on the desktop. I'll import the descriptions for the data fields from SAP system. Okay, the name and the descriptions are imported, so I can perhaps make association between script lines and data columns. Okay. In fact, I should add lines for the test run as well. Most of the lines will be the same, but the last screen would be different. So it wouldn't be Buchung, but another user action. So let's say, since it's all the same screen as we're seeing here, we could add it here. For the actual run. And I will need also some lines for the test run. I made a new recording for the test run. I can copy the last lines from here. Okay. I think everything is done okay. I have created a script for the test run and for the actual run. Let's check the script. If everything seems to be okay, I'll create references in datasheet columns. Okay, and now I have a simple script to create cost structures. Let's try whether it works. Let's run it in the test mode. Okay, it seems it works. Okay, having this simple script working, we are ready to test line activity formulas. Let us assume now that we need an optional behavior, and for some cost centers, we don't want to place anything on the communication screen. Let's say the cost center that start from the letter C should not have the communication screen field in. How should we obtain this functionality? Let's move to the transaction script details. On the transaction script details worksheet, we can see this screen that's connected to communication data. We would like to exclude this particular screen, this 6 lines of the script when the cost center starts with C. How do we do this? We will use the line activity formulas. The first thing we need to do is to take the value of the cost center to be used here. And in fact, we cannot set here an Excel formula to the cost center because it's not constant. It will change while the script executes. It will be first with L at the beginning and then with C. So we have to do it more smartly with line activity formulas. So here we will put the reference to the column in which cost center ID is, so column AB, and this will result in the value of this column put here during the script execution. Let's say for the time being it's C1, but it will be filled in with the cost center being executed. Okay, here we should put a formula that will be valid for this line, and if the formula is true, then this line will be taken into account during the script execution, but if the formula is false, then it will not be taken. So I'll just put if left of this cell, the first sign from the left is not equal to C, then it should be true. And if it's C, it's false. Okay, it works. And in fact, I could use the same formula for the lines below. And now all these 6 lines will be omitted when the cost center ID starts with C, and executed when it doesn't start with C. Let's check whether our script with the smart logic of line activity formulas work. It seems that the 4 cost centers have been created. We'll check it On the sub GUI side, if everything is okay, for these two cost centers we will have the telephone number filled in. For these two, it shouldn't have been done. Okay, here the telephone number is present in the language key, but the cost center doesn't start with C. Let's check the one that starts with C. Okay, here the communication tab is empty because the communication tab filling in was omitted in the script. We have seen the first functionality of line activity formulas in activating a line when a formula is false. Let us assume now that we want to achieve a different functionality. We would like to have the script to number the cost center ID automatically, to attach to it at the end the consecutive number of processed transactions, so that it would result in fluff 0001, 0002, 003, and so on. And the same about the name and description. To achieve this, we would like not to activate or deactivate the line, but to change the value in the line, to calculate the value in the line and the script line by the formula. And we will need the so-called loop index. It is the number of processed transactions from the EasyInput workbook. And for the transactions that have line items, for example, it would be the number of a line item within a transaction. Okay, let's use it in our script. Where do we have this cost center ID? Here. It's the field in which normally we would put constants value. Here we can change it to the assignment to data worksheet, but we would like to change this. We'll delete the assignment to data worksheet and we'll change this field so that it would be filled with the formula. Let's write this formula. Oh, to have this formula, we'll need the cost center ID. So we'll have to put it here to read it. And it will reside in cost center ID in the field value 1. Okay. We have put here a formula, but as formatting in this column is set to text, the system doesn't see it as formula. We'll change the formatting, but to do so we have to unlock the worksheet. We'll set the formatting to general, and when we press enter, we'll get the cost center ID calculated by the formula. Okay, so we'll first read the value of the column AB and then attach to it the loop index number. Okay, we could do the same with the descriptions. In fact, we could use the same formulas. Now everything seems to be okay. Let's check the script. First, perhaps in test mode, and then in actual. Okay, the cost centers seem to be created, so for sure they don't have the same ID because it wouldn't be possible to create several cost centers with the same ID with the same validity period in SAP. So let's check whether such a cost center with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 exists on the sub side. Okay, there is such a cost center with 1 at the end, with 2, with 3, and so on. So we have seen different use of line activity formulas, not to make a line conditional, but to calculate the field value of the line. There are two other functionalities of line activity formulas I haven't shown till now. The first is here normally you would put the column ID of the datasheet, but you can also put here the string row. It will mean that in this column value 2, the row number of the currently processed row will be put. So it would be the value of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, depending on the script processing that will be put here. It could be also used in our formulas for indirect or direct accessing of a cell of data worksheet. Okay, and there is also additional field here, read value. So if this is an extended script and it reads a data into a cell on the data worksheet, then this read value will be also copied here, so it can be used in the following lines of the script. Okay, that's it about line activity formulas. As you have seen, they can be used to make a line or a set of lines, for example, a screen, conditional. It can be used to calculate the field value, and it can be done in various ways. It can be done just by reading, accessing the value of the data sheet. So line activity formulas can read up to 4 parameters from the data sheet to be used in the condition formula. But in case 4 parameters is not enough, sometimes you can read them in 2 lines and use them in the line below, just the 8 parameters read in 2 lines, because the lines are always processed from the top to the bottom. And there is also a possibility to use the loop index, that is the number of transactions processed in the EasyInput script. And in case of transactions that have line items, it would be the number of line item processed. It's very useful if the first line item is processed differently than the other, then You can make the script conditional, and some lines of the script will be only used for the first line and the other for the consecutive lines. And also, if the script is the extended script, then the value read will be put here so that it could be used in the formulas below in the next lines. And you can also read the processed row number, not only the value of the cell. So sometimes if 4 parameters are not enough, you can read just row numbers and in the formula access the parameters in that row as many as you would like to. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Bye for now.